to my allotment garden. So this month, well, it's getting colder, it's quite gloomy, it's a very grey day today, and I've been focusing on one main thing on the allotment, and that's the really big mess that was over there. So I'll be sharing with you in this episode some snippets from my month clearing up the big mess. I'll be sharing some tips on how to approach this kind of mess if you're new to having an allotment. I'll be going over some of the chilies that I'll be growing, and also sharing with you the book that I'm enjoying this month. So first of all, I'd like to give a couple of special mentions, and the first one goes to Roman in Canada. Now Roman's become quite a close friend who lives in Canada, and he sent me some chili seeds last year, and he sent me some more this year to try again. We talk a lot on Instagram. I suggest you go and follow him if you like that kind of thing. So he sent me a lovely card and some new varieties of chilies to try this year. So I've got Sugar Rush Peach, which is actually one that I didn't request, so that was a surprise. Thank you, Roman. I remember seeing these on his Instagram, and they're this gorgeous light peach colour, kind of like an Aji pineapple drop shape. And I think they're quite hot as well. I've got some cappuccino Scotch bonnet, and these I'm looking forward to growing more hot varieties like Scotch bonnets and habaneros, and these cappuccino ones have a really nice smoky orange colour, so I'm really looking forward to trying them. Bohemian goat. I didn't just choose it for the name, because I do love goats. I think they are hilarious, but these are going to be a nice smoky kind of chili. I think these are quite hot again. And the last one that I've got here is Pimenta Luna, and I don't know much about these, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of research, but I like surprises, and these are going to be great to grow this year, so thank you very much, Roman. I will be sowing my chili seeds in the next few days actually, and it is recommended that you start them off in a heated propagator if you have one, because they need the warm temperatures to germinate. Then as soon as they come through the compost, I will be moving them out of the heated propagator and into my windowsill. I would use some LED lighting if I had them, but I don't at the minute, so we'll see how they go. I've also got lots more varieties here, so I'll be growing a lot of chilies this year, I think. I really enjoyed growing them last year, and I just think they're so versatile because you can freeze them, dry them, make them into a powder. I use them as Christmas decorations strung up, and they're just so versatile. So I've got quite a few to go through to decide exactly which ones I want to grow this year. Now my second mention goes to Georgie, and she's the mother of one of my oldest friends, Nick, who I grew up with, and he's now living in New Zealand, which is very lucky. But yes, she sent me this book because she knows how much I love gardening now, and you know, thinking back, I spent a lot of time in her garden growing up with Nick. We used to muck about in the shed and sit on the shed if it was too hot. They had a pond. I remember seeing newts in there. That was probably the first time I saw newts, really. And Nick would play with his slingshot on top of the shed, and it was just a beautiful garden to grow up in. So thank you for my book, Georgie, if you're watching. It's called Vegetable Growing Month by Month, the down-to-earth guide that takes you through the vegetable year. And it's by John Harrison, and it's even signed, which is brilliant. And even though I haven't read through much of it just yet, it looks to be a really good reference book for knowing what you should be doing each month. And it also goes over your soil, sorting out and storing your seeds, heirloom varieties, about weeds, compost and manure, greenhouses, propagators, daylight hours month by month. So yeah, it looks to be like a really good book to refer to when you're not sure on something. I'm just going to have a flick and see what it suggests for January. So it suggests that even though you won't be sowing many seeds, you could try starting off some cauliflowers in a frost-free greenhouse, which I won't be doing. Talks about making repairs, fixing your leaky shed, any fencing, things like that. So as I'm tidying up, these months in winter are essential for just doing general maintenance and tidying up on your garden. So yes, I recommend this book for anybody that's beginning an allotment this year. Okay, well, it's time I showed you some of the footage from this month and the progress that I've made tidying up the big mess over there. We won't be having a full tour this month because there really isn't that much new, but I will be showing you some snippets at the end of things that are going on or that have changed this month. So I'll see you in a bit. So today I'm here just for about an hour or so, and I actually set a poll in my Instagram stories on what job you think I should be doing today. So it was between tidying up the strawberry patch and tidying up this big mess behind me, and it's been bothering me for months, as you guys might know. So today I'm actually going to make a start on it because it's what you guys voted for. So I'm going to sort out a big pile for the weeds, things that are recyclable, things that I've got to take to the tip, and anyway, just see how far we get today. I suppose at the time I didn't really think that this little job would turn out to be a month-long mission, but it's, like I said, one of the things I've been really needing to do, and it's an embarrassment just looking at it. But you know, I think everybody really who has an allotment has at least a small part of the allotment devoted to the rubbish and pots and things you haven't yet found a place for. But mine's just got a little out of hand because there's always a more important job, I feel, when I'm on the allotment. There was lots of fabric that I found, lots of pots, pieces of wood, that kind of thing. So the plot today looks like complete and utter carnage as we tidy up the sleeping and shed area. Boy, my boyfriend, he's here to help, and we're just burning through some of the weeds. That big mountain at the back, which is slowly going down. Yeah. It wasn't long actually after starting on my big cleaning project that I started to watch the Marie Kondo series on Netflix, and she goes around helping people tidy and declutter their homes and get more organised, and she even has a very special folding technique to make optimised storage for clothes and that kind of thing. And when I look back at myself folding all of this weed membrane, I just thought about her. I'm not sure if my system's going to be quite that organised at the end. I really need to find somewhere to put all of that membrane, but fingers crossed it'll work out in the end. When you take on an allotment, this is the kind of junk that you have to deal with. So if you're thinking about signing up for one, you've got to be prepared to make lots of trips to your local recycling centre to dispose of all of the things that you can't recycle and reuse yourself. And unlike what I've done, it should be one of the first things that you think about doing when you actually get the key to your allotment, because otherwise you're going to be burdened with it for years, and it'll always be on the back of your mind and it'll be annoying you all the time. This is how it looks right now. I've still got a pile of things to take to the tip by my gate. I've already made one trip already, but this is it, and it's looking so much better, and there's actually something I can do now which I've not been able to do in a long time. So I can actually stand behind my compost bin now. Before it was covered in so much rubbish. I don't know where I was pulling it out from. It just kept coming and coming and coming. There are a few things actually that I found whilst going through all this rubbish, and I'm going to put them to use on my allotment. So the first one being this big planter. Now it doesn't actually have a bottom, so once I position it, it's going to be there for good, because I'm going to have to fill it with soil, and obviously if I lift it, it'll all come falling out. So I'm going to plant this up and maybe put it outside my shed, maybe. So that's one thing that I've saved. Next one is this clothes dryer. Now I know it looks a bit odd, But what I'll be able to do is use some slats of plywood or something, and I might be able to create a seed table out of it and have lots of layers of seeds growing away, and I can put this in the polytunnel, and then when I'm done with it, it stores flat pack. I also found some of this plastic mesh, which is great for anything that climbs, so your sweet peas, beans, peas. It's great because it gives them that little framework to attach their tendrils on to climb, so I'll be recycling this on my allotment. So the biggest is actually what used to be a pallet, and I have 2 of these, and the plan is to cut these bits off. Actually no, I wouldn't cut them off. Get some more planks of wood like this from a pallet and basically turn it into a planter. And I've been needing somewhere to put my pineberry plants, so I might sort these out, put a lining inside it, fill it with soil, and then I've got 2 planters. So those are a couple of the things that I've rescued before I take all of that rubbish over there to the tip. So let me show you how it's looking right now. The big glass table that was here is actually in the polytunnel at the moment. I moved that to give me some space. And this big white sack is full of my leaf mould. That will be going towards the back of the plot once I've made some space. But I've cleared out all of the junk from behind the compost bin, from the side of the shed. I mean, this looked a right old mess before. There's still a lot of twigs and things to burn through and compost. And if I turn around, although it looks a mess, this is actually tidier than it was, and I can actually access my pots. I still need to tackle the other side of the shed, but I know that that's mostly pots only. So if I just have a little look round, I've still got a few more weeds to get rid of. This is some spent compost that I'll be able to reuse, and yeah, that's my Christmas tree. I'm going to pot it in there once I've got some proper compost. It's currently just in a pot, but this was my beautiful blue spruce. Got a real thing for silvery foliage, and it's putting on new growth, which is brilliant. So turning around from the seating area, composting area, this is how my plot is looking at the moment. As I said, not going to be a full tour, but I'll show you around a little bit. So right here at the back is all of the things that I have left to take to the tip. My winter veg patch, I'm going to pull all that out soon and lay down some manure. The green manure in the back patch over there, that's just coming through. Getting quite established on this plot over here. And these bags are all full of manure that I'm going to put on what was my beetroot and salad bed, right here in front. So yeah, as you can see, this field bean patch has put on some fantastic growth in the last month, and the one next door has all fully come through now as well. Over in the flower bed just behind, we've actually got some bulbs coming through, and these are probably all my daffodils. They're usually first to come up, but this is all also packed with lots of tulips as well. Underneath the apple tree and the wildlife area there at the back hasn't changed too much. I've had a little bit of a tidy up though to remove some of the excess weeds that were in here. This is forget-me-not, and there's a lot of this coming up. And we're going to have lots of lovely little blue flowers, which the bees will love in April, May time. I've planted out some of the hellebores that I bought last month, and some of these are rebudding, so these are going to be great for any bumblebees that decide to come out in middle of winter. Now, still under the apple tree, I've got some crocus flowers that are coming up. These are some of the earliest bulbs to come out of the ground. This one's going to be a nice yellow colour look. Last year they were eaten by something, which was quite annoying. I don't know if they'll fare very well this year either, but we'll see. And this is how the wildlife area is looking at the moment. Again, a bit bare, but still places for insects and birds to hide. The garlic's really popping up now. I've got a few different varieties in here, including some shop-bought garlic as a little bit of an experiment. But as you can see, they're all poking through the ground, and I hoed off a few weeds a little bit earlier. So right now it's actually about 20 to 5. I've actually just got home from, well, I've just got here from work, and it's the first time I've been to the allotment after work this year, so the evenings are gradually getting lighter, and I thought for the next 10-15 minutes, whilst I've got a little bit of light, I might actually spread some manure on this bed here behind me. So I'm going to get cracking and hope that I can get it done before it gets too dark. After I'd finished spreading manure on this patch, there were a few robins that flew over and picked out all of the worms from the manure itself as their last minute supper before dusk fell. And it made me realise that there is a benefit to spreading manure this late at night, and that is that most of the worms will wriggle back into the soil and they won't get eaten by the birds. Well, I didn't think I'd have time to record another video this month, but just a quick update because I'm feeling so proud of all my hard work. The plot is actually looking the best it's ever looked in winter and pretty much ready for spring. I've got a lot of hedges to prune though, and still lots of tidying up jobs to do, but yeah, take a look. I still have the strawberry patch to tidy, that'll be a job for the next few weeks. I've actually just finished tidying the winter veg patch at the back, giving it a good weed, taking out all of the last of the parsnips, and yeah, taking all that rubbish to the tip, and I've put the leaf mould, that big white bag, behind the compost bin for now. And look, it's so tidy around here. I still have a bit of work to do on the other side of the shed, but that's mostly pots and canes and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm really pleased.